Welcome back to my 250,000 plus amazing students. So good to see you guys again. Today we have episode 18 of Super Sentences, the best series on YouTube for quickly and effectively improving your English speaking skills. Now, if you've been here before and you know how it works, feel free to skip ahead to the lesson. But if it's your first time here, let me explain how Super Sentences works. We are going to start with a simple sentence, something basic, something easy, something everybody can say without too much trouble. Then we will stretch this little sentence level by level, making it longer and more advanced, more complex. Every time we stretch the sentence longer, you can practice saying it out loud. You can shadow me. In other words, try to say what I say in the same way I say it, or pause the video and repeat back. Click like on this video, say hello in the comments, maybe even become a channel member. These are your ways to support me as your YouTube English teacher, and let's jump in. Okay, here we are at level 1. You can see that we have a pretty short sentence here. Now we're going to practice saying this sentence. And remember, you can do that in one of two ways. You can shadow me or pause the video and repeat back out loud. Let's give it a try at a slow speed. Here we go. Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe. One more time at a slow speed just to get a feel for this sentence. Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe. Okay, so we have our main character here, a woman named Adriana. And what is Adriana doing? Well, she is joining a language exchange. Interesting. Have you guys ever been to one of these meetups before where lots of people who want to learn languages get together and speak different languages? Maybe there's a group of people practicing Spanish, a group of people practicing their English, and over here are the Japanese speakers, over there, the Chinese speakers. It looks like Adriana wants to learn a language, right? So she joins this language exchange. Where is it at? It's at a local cafe. So local, right? It's near where she lives. Let's say it again at a quick speed, and then we will level up and stretch the sentence, making it more challenging. Are you ready? Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe. One more time. Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe. Okay, check it out. We have added some blue text to this super sentence, making it longer and more challenging. Let's begin with a slow read of this new and improved sentence. Ready? Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe, hoping to pick up Spanish phrases from native speakers. Okay, so we are getting a bit more information about Adriana and why she is joining this language exchange. We see what she's hoping to do. She's hoping to pick up or learn some Spanish phrases or expressions, sayings, right? And she's hoping to pick these up from native speakers. Native speakers, in other words, people who grew up speaking the language and know it by heart. Know it by heart. Love this expression here, pick up. If you pick something up, then you learn it. It's just a very simple way to say you learn something. Last year, I picked up guitar. Recently, I've been picking up coding, right? My friend Jack picked up writing recently. In other words, they've started to learn how to do something, right? They're picking it up. One more time at a quick speed, and then we will level up again. Ready? Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe, hoping to pick up Spanish phrases from native speakers. I want you guys to pay attention to how quickly I say that too. It sounds more like tuh. Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe, hoping to pick up Spanish phrases. Hoping to pick up Spanish phrases. I don't really say to, do I? I say it very quickly. Here we are at level 3. Once again, we've added some blue text, stretching our super sentence, making it longer, making it more complex and challenging. Let's begin with a slow read together. Here we go. Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe, hoping to pick up Spanish phrases from native speakers, though she felt shy about speaking in front of strangers. Okay, so here the blue text is telling us how Adriana feels, right? She has these hopes of learning or picking up some Spanish phrases, but there is an obstacle here, right? There's a barrier to her doing this. There's a hurdle that she needs to get over. Those are just different ways of saying there's a slight problem here, right? She feels shy about speaking in front of strangers. Now, personally, as a language learner myself, you guys know I study Mandarin Chinese. This is something I can relate to. It's very tough for me to open up and speak Chinese around strangers. I feel embarrassed, I feel awkward, I feel uncomfortable. What about you guys? Do you feel comfortable speaking English in front of strangers or with strangers? Let me know down in the comments section how easy this is for you to do on a scale from 1 to 10. 10 meaning very difficult, 1 meaning piece of cake. Once more, quick speed, then we'll level up again. Here we go. Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe, hoping to pick up Spanish phrases from native speakers, though she felt shy about speaking in front of strangers. And here we are, level 4, getting a bit more serious now, adding even more to our super sentence. Let's dive in with a slow read. Here we go. Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe, hoping to pick up Spanish phrases from native speakers, though she felt shy about speaking in front of strangers, yet she still showed up every week to build her confidence. Okay, great. So even though Adriana is a little bit shy, a little bit clammed up around these strangers, she doesn't feel super comfortable yet. However, she still shows up every week to build her confidence. Yeah, guys, a big part of language fluency is finding that confidence, finding your voice in a new language. It can be very strange to start over with a new language, right? And it feels like you lose your personality, you lose your voice. So that's a challenge when you are learning a foreign language, to find that personality again, find that voice again. Once more, quick speed, and then we'll move on. Let's go. Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe, hoping to pick up Spanish phrases from native speakers, though she felt shy about speaking in front of strangers, yet she still showed up every week to build her confidence. How is this for you guys? Are you doing okay? Let's keep pushing, keep stretching this sentence. Now, here at level 5, I'd like to do something a little bit different. We're going to skip the slow read of the black portion of text and just focus on the blue part and then say the whole thing together at the end of level 5. So let's say this blue text together slowly. And help others practice English, jotting down tricky words she couldn't figure out right away. Okay, so Adriana, she is still showing up. She's building her confidence, right? She's trying to feel more comfortable and confident, even though she is shy around strangers. Okay, now as she's learning Spanish, she jots down tricky words that she can't figure out right away. What does that mean? If you jot something down, you write it down quickly. Yeah, if you jot something down, you don't spend a lot of time writing it. Okay, so she's quickly writing down or jotting down tricky words, difficult vocab. And these are, words that she couldn't figure out right away. So she sees the word or the phrase, she struggles with it. Okay, I'll jot it down for further study later on. Maybe she's going to review it when she gets home, right? Now, let's say the whole thing at a quick speed. Here we go. Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe, hoping to pick up Spanish phrases from native speakers, though she felt shy about speaking in front of strangers. Yet, she still showed up every week to build her confidence and help others practice English, jotting down tricky words she couldn't figure out right away. So she's doing all of these things to practice her Spanish and help the other members of this language exchange work on their English as well, even as a nitpicking perfectionist pointed out her every minor error. Uh-oh, we've got a problem in the story. She's doing all of these positive things to help herself and help other people, but something bad is happening at the same time. Someone in the group is a nitpicking perfectionist. Ooh, what does this mean? A perfectionist is someone who wants everything to be perfect. They expect everything to be perfect, even in other people. So this perfectionist is nitpicking and pointing out Adriana's every minor error. Okay, they're nitpicking. That means they're finding small problems with things that she says. Maybe, Adriana, she says a sentence in Spanish and it's 99% correct. But this perfectionist, they like to nitpick, right? They like to find small problems. So they say, 1%. Yeah, that 1% was not correct or incorrect. They focus on the small problems instead of appreciating all of the things that Adriana does correctly, right? So they point out her every minor error, every little mistake. Minor means small. Error means mistake. So every little thing she does wrong, this perfectionist says, I heard that. I saw that. You did it wrong. Ooh, that is frustrating, right? Let's say the whole thing at a quick speed. Are you ready? Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe, hoping to pick up Spanish phrases from native speakers, though she felt shy about speaking in front of strangers. Yet she still showed up every week to build her confidence and help others practice English, jotting down tricky words she couldn't figure out right away, even as a nitpicking perfectionist pointed out her every minor error. So this nitpicking perfectionist, they're making her feel really bad until she, Adriana, decided she wouldn't let such negativity hold her back. So Adriana decides to stand up for herself and make a decision, right? What does she decide? She decides that she is not going to let or allow such negativity hold her back. This nitpicking perfectionist is a very negative person. They bring a lot of negative energy to this mostly positive study group, right? And so Adriana makes a decision. She's not going to let that small amount of negativity hold her back or prevent her stop her, keep her from accomplishing what she goes there to do. She is not going to be held back. She is going to keep pushing on and accomplish her goal of mastering Spanish. That's why she's going, right? Okay, quick speed. Are you ready? Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe, hoping to pick up Spanish phrases from native speakers, though she felt shy about speaking in front of strangers. Yet she still showed up every week to build her confidence and help others practice English, jotting down tricky words she couldn't figure out right away. Even as a nitpicking perfectionist, pointed out her every minor error until she decided she wouldn't let such negativity hold her back. Level 8, this is getting really difficult, really serious, guys. Let's see. She makes a decision, right, that she's not going to let this negativity hold her back or keep her down, keep her from progressing, making progress, right? So she hung out with kinder members afterward to chat about random topics like music and food. Okay, so she makes this decision. I'm not gonna let this get to me. In other words, I'm not going to allow this to affect me, right? So she starts to hang out or spend time with, right, kinder members. Other members of the language exchange group who are kinder or nicer, more friendly, right? They start hanging out afterward, after the meeting to chat, make small talk, just have conversation about random topics. What's random? Means could be this, could be that, could be over here or over there, could be anything. A random topic like weather, a random topic like music, like food, right? The topics are all over the place. Let's read it again. Quick speed. Here we go. Then we'll level up. Guys, we're almost done. Keep pushing. Don't give up now. Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe, hoping to pick up Spanish phrases from native speakers. Though she felt shy about speaking in front of strangers, yet she still showed up every week to build her confidence and help others practice English, jotting down tricky words she couldn't figure out right away. Even as a nitpicking perfectionist pointed out her every minor error until she decided she wouldn't let such negativity hold her back. So she hung out with kinder members afterward to chat about random topics like music and food. Whew, how are you guys doing? Is this too difficult? Not difficult enough? Just right for your level? Let me know down in the comment section. Okay, so here at level 9, Adriana is trying to avoid this negative person. She's hanging out with kinder members of this club. They're talking about random topics like music and food. Although, the perfectionist's remarks still tested her patience. Okay, so even though she's trying really hard to ignore this person, this is a hard word to say, the perfectionist's remarks, the things the perfectionist is saying, the comments this person is making, these comments still tested her patience. If your patience is tested, then you are trying really hard not to blow up and get angry. But it's very difficult, right? She feels like she's about to have an angry outburst and yell at this nitpicking perfectionist, this negative person, right? But she's trying very, very hard. She's keeping it together, or holding it together, we sometimes say. If you're very close to having an angry explosion, but you're still, keeping it inside, we call that barely holding it together or barely keeping it together. When was the last time you guys were in a situation where you barely held it together or you barely kept it together? Let me know in the comments. You know, besides YouTube, I have another job teaching English, and I teach kids at this job. Well, I'm a very patient person, but I have to admit that sometimes with certain students, I barely keep it together. I barely hold it together because these students misbehave so badly. We can also say they really push my buttons. They really push my buttons, or they really grind my gears. They really make me angry, and it's hard not to have an angry episode, right? Okay, let's say this again and then level up to level 10, which is the final level of today's super sentence. Let's give it a try. Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe, hoping to pick up Spanish phrases from native speakers, though she felt shy about speaking in front of strangers. Yet, she still showed up every week to build her confidence and help others practice English, jotting down tricky words she couldn't figure out right away, even as a nitpicking perfectionist pointed out her every minor error until she decided she wouldn't let such negativity hold her back. So she hung out with kinder members afterward to chat about random topics like music and food, although the perfectionist's remarks still tested her patience. Whew, I feel like this final blue chunk here is very tricky to say. You have to be careful. Perfectionist's remarks still tested. Yeah, there's a lot of S's in that chunk. Perfectionist's remarks still tested her patience. Yeah, there's a lot of S, so be careful with that part. Maybe slow the video down or pause it and say it a couple more times out loud to get used to it. Okay, so Adriana's patience is still being tested by this perfectionist, even though she's trying her best not to blow up on this person. So what happens? Her patience is tested, prompting her to drill vocabulary at home until she could finally stand her ground in Spanish and prove the bully wrong. Okay, so the perfectionist's remarks, the things she says, or he, could be a he or she, the remarks and the behavior, the things they do, this prompts Adriana, or gives her a reason to do something. To do what? Drill vocab at home. What is drill vocab? Drill it, do it, again and again and again. Anything that she's struggling with, she drills. She practices it over and over and over, right? That's called drilling. If there's something you're struggling with, you tackle it, you do it again and again and again. So she does this at home until she could finally stand her ground in Spanish. Basically, that means she's feeling really confident about her skills and abilities, right? She's not so shaky anymore. She's not so wibbly wobbly. She feels solid. She feels powerful, right? In Spanish. And because of this, because of all her drilling, all of her hard work, finally, she can prove the bully wrong. She can say, look, there's nothing for you to nitpick. There's nothing for you to point out. I'm not even making minor errors, right? Minor errors, small mistakes. My Spanish is so good, and I feel so confident that I'm proving you wrong. This bully or person who is bullying her, right? All right, guys, here's the moment of truth. The moment of truth, the big moment in our lesson. Can you say this level 10 sentence out loud? Can you do it? This is the final boss of today's video, and it's not easy. You might have to take many, many breaths. You might have to pause the video and say it very slowly. But if you feel up to it, if you feel like you want to try, Then let's say it together. Are you ready? Adriana joined a language exchange at a local cafe, hoping to pick up Spanish phrases from native speakers, though she felt shy about speaking in front of strangers. Yet she still showed up every week to build her confidence and help others practice English, jotting down tricky words she couldn't figure out right away, even as a nitpicking perfectionist pointed out her every minor error, until she decided she wouldn't let such negativity hold her back. So she hung out with kinder members afterward to chat about random topics like music and food, although the perfectionist's remarks still tested her patience, prompting her to drill vocabulary at home until she could finally stand her ground in Spanish and prove the bully wrong. If you made it this far in the video, take your hand. Give yourself a pat on the back to congratulate yourself because you deserve it, my friend. You are doing a fantastic job. This is not easy. Even for a native speaker to talk this much is pretty tiring, pretty taxing, pretty exhausting. Let's end today's video with speaking cooldown. Yeah, you know, my videos, especially my super sentences videos, are like a workout. And with every workout, it's important to have a cool down at the end. So here's what we're going to do. We have 3 questions we are going to discuss together. First, I'm going to respond to each of these 3 questions, talking for 1 minute, and this will be a chance for you to practice your listening skills. Listen to the way a native speaker might reply to this question. Then it will be your turn to speak, and I want you guys to push yourself to speak for the full minute. Even if you're 30 seconds in, you don't know what else to say, just say everything you've already said again, or talk about something else. The important part is to talk, practice speaking. Question 1 is, have you ever been to a language exchange, just like the one Adriana went to in our story today? What was the experience like? If not, would you be willing to try? So let's begin by responding to this. I'll go first. Here I go. All right. So yeah, I have been to a language exchange. You know, I remember years ago in China, I really wanted to practice my Chinese. I wanted to improve my Chinese and get better, especially with speaking, because I'm sure, like many of you guys, I didn't have that many opportunities in daily life to speak. I wanted more. So I checked out this Meetup. You know, there's an app called Meetup. It was a language exchange. And I went across town. It was kind of fun. I met some new people, had some drinks, but it was a little frustrating because the only other people there were Chinese people wanting to learn English. I wanted to speak Chinese. They wanted to speak English. We were kind of at an impasse, right? So that was a little frustrating, and I ended up speaking English the whole night. Okay, that was my response. Now it's your turn. Take that minute. Push yourself to fill up the entire minute. Go for it. Here's question number 2. Do you feel that nerves or nervousness feeling anxious, feeling nervous, right, prevents you or holds you back from speaking English as well as you could? In other words, do you think nerves are getting in the way of speaking English more fluently, right? If so, how do you deal with this nervousness? So, if you do get nervous and your nervousness to speak is a problem, talk about that. How do you deal with it? How do you handle it, right? And if nervousness is not a problem for you, talk about why it's not. I'll go first. Here's my minute. Here's my demonstration. So, for me personally, when I'm speaking Chinese, I definitely do feel that nerves and nervousness, yeah, it's a big part of my inability to speak sometimes. It really prevents me from speaking, and that's a shame, right? For any language learner, that's a real shame because you spend so much time and energy learning the language, wanting to do well, and then you just can't speak. That's terrible, right? So, something I've been doing recently is starting each sentence very slowly. Like before, I might say, 比如说这个事情怎么怎么样, blah, 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 blah. But now I say like this, 比如说这个事情会怎么怎么样, right? I slow down the beginning of the sentence so I can think a little bit more about what I want to say. And that's been helping me recently. You guys can try that if you want. That was my 1 minute response. Now it's your turn. Take that minute and go for it. Okay, question 3, our final opportunity to speak today. What's the question? It's important to make learning fun. Besides language exchanges, what are some other fun ideas for studying English? Now, I love this question. And this one, after you're finished responding out loud, I really encourage you to share in the comments section as well, because people are always looking for good ways to learn, to study the language, right? If you know something really, really good, something fun, something that makes language learning more enjoyable, please post a comment, let us know. I'll go first. Here's my minute. Okay, so I do have some ideas for how to make learning English more fun. And actually, I was going to make an entire video about this topic. I think I still will, probably next week or so. But let me just share briefly, quickly, a couple of my ideas with you guys. Number 1 on the list is YouTube, right? YouTube is such an amazing language learning tool. Find a way to use YouTube. There are captions, right? Subtitles, interesting vloggers, interesting content. There are a million ways to learn with YouTube. But also, try learning with a video game. Here's a great recommendation. There's a video game called Animal Crossing that's all about living in a small town and being social. So most of the game is just talking and conversations in English. You guys can check that out if you're interested. Okay, that was my response. Now it's your turn. It's your final chance to speak today. So really push yourself all the way through that minute. Go ahead. If you're looking to pick up English, remember this, pick up, consider becoming a channel member here at English is Easy. Don't let losing access to my PDFs and bonus videos and English book club hold you back in your studies. You really want access to these things, guys. If you want the PDFs, the bonus videos, access to my book club, become a member. Click join here on YouTube or go to my Patreon. They're both the same thing. I mean, I'm just one guy making videos. It really helps support me a lot as well, and it's only the price of a cup of coffee. Check it out. And if you are in the middle of a study session, I'm going to put another one of my videos up on the screen. Go click on it and I will meet you there. Let's go.